Hey everybody, welcome back to the Myth Impressions channel, and we're back in the Knox Hollow wood shop, and we're doing some little bit different stuff today. I'm going to do some wands for you, and these are going to be hand carved, so we're not using the lathe this time. And I've got some new tools and stuff I'm trying out, and I wanted to use some softer woods to kind of get used to that. And so what I've done is I've got my pattern. I've drawn out a pattern that I kind of liked, and I've got that transferred to the sides of the wand, and I'm just going to rough that in on the bandsaw and the spindle sander first, and I'm going to get my outer contour, my outer profile done on that before I do my carving. And so I'm using some different sizes sleeves on the spindle sander to get that kind of roughed in, and then I'm kind of going in with the bandsaw and taking care of that. This last month has been a little bit crazy. We got done with our spring shows and got back, and we're really was looking forward to getting some more videos and stuff done for you. And then between dental appointments and veterinary appointments and a minor car accident, it's been really busy. So it's been about a month since I've done a video for you. So I'm glad that I'm able to finally get this edited up and do something new and interesting. So if you like this, I'd like to do some more of these hand carved wands, but they are really time consuming. So if you can go down and hit that like button down there, hit me a thumbs up, that'll really help the channel and we'll hopefully get some good views on this. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, you can always join as one of my member subscribers, and we've got some perks and stuff. And I want to do some other videos on like some finishing options and stuff. And then I've got an announcement. I think I want to open up the Discord channel to everybody, not just subscribers, and then subscribers will get some like bonus perks on that too. So I want to do a video talking about that. But anyways, back to the wand. I'm using this Dremel with a flex shaft on it, and I've got some Kudzall bits. I've got the coarse or kind of a medium grit, coarse grit, and a fine grit on this. And yeah, we're just roughing this in. As you can see, it takes quite a while, but overall, try to translate that 2D image because you're only getting a side view of it. That can be kind of difficult to do, and some of that you just kind of have to keep in your head. And you can kind of draw a top view if you want as well, but it's really hard to transfer once you start cutting on the wood. So you end up having to go in and do a lot of marks and stuff. And anytime that you're doing hand carving like this, unless you've got like a CNC machine that can do precision work, you're never going to get it perfectly symmetrical. It's almost impossible to do. So you're going to keep that kind of nice organic feel to this one. And that's kind of what I was going for on that. Overall, it turned out pretty well. I've got some needle files here, and these are diamond needle files. So the good thing about that is you can go both forward and backward. With the regular file, it only cuts moving forward. Not such a big deal on wood, but if you're doing metal work, you don't want to pull backwards; it dulls the file. But these diamond files, I think I probably have a set from like Harbor Freight, kind of cheapos, and then I'm pretty sure the other ones I got on Amazon at some point. I've had them for quite a while for just doing different projects, but they worked really great for this. So I wish I could tell you exactly the set that I got, but I don't know for sure. Anyways, lots of sanding on this. When you're sanding, when I'm using 150 grit, you're still doing shaping on that because it takes off the wood so quickly. It's not till you move up to the 200 or 220 grit and above that you're actually like doing the sanding. And I'm going in with that Dremel now, and I wanted to put in some texture on this. And the reason that I'm doing that is I want to use the ebonizing fluid, and that works really well on the cherry wood. Not so much as it does on the for like some of the other woods like walnut, but it does give a nice kind of dark gray, especially in the end grains. And so I'm going to coat the whole thing in this, and as you can see, that's going to get nice and dark on there. And once this is dry, then I'll come back in and sand off and sand out the highlights. So as you can see, it's got that nice dark gray tone to it, especially in the end grains. And I'm going to sand off all the high sides on everything. And I'll start with a 220 and then move to the 320. The 220 removes it a little bit faster. If you're worried about removing too much, then go right to that 320 grit sandpaper. And as you can see, I'm leaving it down around all of my all the cracks, the low points, all of the little details that I put in with the little Dremel ball. And so all those recessed areas, I'm not hitting with the sandpaper. So that it leaves that ebonized, look in it, and this is what it looks like once we get the final finish on. I did go with a, lacquer coat on this, and that seemed to work really well. So overall, I was pretty happy with this one, and I thought we'd just go right into making another wand. And we're gonna do this one out of walnut because I liked how everything was working on that. I wanted to refine some techniques, and so we're gonna do pretty much the same process on this guy. So you can see I've already got the pattern traced out on here, and roughed in on the bandsaw and, the spindle sander, and I'm just gonna kinda mark a center line. I'm just kinda, estimating a center line on here so I can keep all my curves and stuff, kinda symmetrical. And this one, it's got a lot of smooth transitions on it, but I kinda was going for sort of a dragon-inspired, shape on this, and I went very angular, so it's got a lot of facets on it, and the blade's gonna be faceted, and that is a whole different, set of problems, to solve, because the Dremel is round, and it wants to do rounded organic shapes, and it's not as good sometimes at doing like large flat areas with a facet. So I ended up going back and forth between the Dremel and the and sandpaper on blocks and stuff like that for this one. So that was really interesting. Also, if you would like, you can subscribe to the channel as well, and that always helps out. If you'll slide right down there and hit that subscribe button and make sure you ring that bell, and that way you'll be notified when we get our new videos and stuff on the channel. And so we're using this is a dovetail bit. I've got several different bits, some new bits that I'm trying out for the Dremel, and most of them seemed I was pretty happy with it. I'd like to find some sort of a tool that does a reciprocating motion instead of a rotary motion. Is that if you haven't worked with a rotary tool, it there's some unique problems. It only rotates one direction, so getting it wants to kind of dig on one side and climb on the other, and sometimes it's really hard to get the direction that you want to go, especially when you're trying to get the two sides symmetrical. So a reciprocating motion that I can put those files on so I can do some filing and sanding with stuff would be great. I have yet to find anything that is Dremel tool sized, like, handheld, that I'm able to do that with. But again, we're doing a lot of shaping with our 100 grit sandpaper, 100 and 150 grit sandpaper. Once we get that kind of roughed in, we'll go in with do our detail work. I did that with the Dremel tool and the different size round bits, and then we'll go in and do our ebonizing fluid on this, the same process that we did on the previous wand, and sand off the highlights, and that worked really well, as you can see. But I'm gonna cut here in just a second to a new tool that I made myself, and I wanna tell you about for doing the finish spray on this, and that worked out really well. So after I finish this up, we'll get to it.
I guess I'm gonna actually try some audio on this just to be easier. I thought this might be something that was interesting to show. I made this. I wanted something that I could use to spray on the few ones that I do put clear coat of some kind on besides the oil and wax. I wanted something that I could use as to hold the ones to spray them and get an even coat, so I didn't have to do one side and the other, and then you have issues with a foggy area where it's faded between the two sides and stuff. So what I did is I took some little bolts here, and I drilled a hole in the end of them, and then epoxied in a needle. And this is a Glover's needle, so it's got a triangular shape, so it's really sharp. It's made to go through leather, but I'm hoping that triangular shape will help keep the wand from just spinning on the needle. And that I made this so that you can tighten the bolt in here, and that'll clamp down on it, and that's for the fine tuning. And then I've got this little guy here. These slide so that I can adjust for the big distances. And most of my wands, 95% of them run anywhere from between 13 and 15 inches is pretty typical. Um, but I do get down as small as 10 inches when I'm doing like the apprentice ones, and sometimes close to 16 inches on, on the high side. So I made this adjust quite a bit, more than I probably need. But anyways, I just got this set up, and I can set this sideways, or I can stand it on its end. And I've just got it set up so what I do is I kind of get a ballpark of the length of the wand where it's going to have to go between the needles there. And this is actually pretty close to full length. So I get pretty close, and then I'll tighten this up on here. And I've got these two needles they get really close to being center, but they're not perfectly dead on. And then all I'm going to do is take one end of this and put it on the needle on this end, and then I'll tighten this bolt up here. And that kind of presses in, and so basically at this point, it's as you can see, that triangular needle pushes in there just enough that it actually spins this, and it's not going to be. There's only two needle points touching it, so you're probably not even going to see the points where the finish dries, and there'll be two little dots there. But I can touch those up a lot easier. But that way, I can get a single coat on the entire outside of this and leave it to dry, and I don't have to worry about where, how to do on one side, because you can't, when the whole thing's wet, you can't leave it laying on the wet side. So, but that's what I got built here. I thought it was kind of a neat little device. It seems to me we're going to test it out. Normally on the walnut like this, I would do an oil and wax finish with this nice coat on there, but because I wanted to test this out and see how well this works, I thought I would go ahead and give that a shot. And I'm doing a simple. Is just a clear lacquer finish on this, just a simple finish. It's not going to be a very heavy coat, just enough to kind of protect the surface and the color and stuff on that.
And when you're doing the spray lacquer, you want to really get it as many different angles as you can because you got all those different weird angles. So it's important to get into all those cracks. But you also want to go with a really light coat too, because you don't want to get any runs on that. So this tool really helped with that.
All right, so that'll dry for a few hours. Double check. I actually am going to come in and put a second coat on this just to make sure I got everything covered. That first coat's really light, gets absorbed into that wood really well. But as you can see, I'm pretty happy with the way this spray stand worked. I was able to turn it all different directions and get into all the little different angles to get into the cracks on that. So I'll just turn this up on its end here. We'll let this dry. It's pretty warm out here today, so hopefully this will dry pretty quick. I can get a second coat on it, and then we'll be ready for photos and stuff tomorrow.
And so here's the final product photos on this. And as you can see, I honestly I was pretty happy with this. But yeah, it turned out really nice. It's got some nice depth. I really like the way that the black stayed down in those deeper areas and stuff, and really gave it some good depth. And that walnut wood is just always really pretty. And I'm pretty happy with the lacquer on this. It's not overly thick, so it's not you don't get that really heavy plasticky look that you can get sometimes with some of the thicker clear coats and stuff. So I did just stick with the lacquer, and I did that on both of them. And so here's a picture of both of the wands together. And those, overall, I think these for the first two I've done for you on video that were hand carved, I'm really happy with the final products on these. I am planning on putting these up for sale, but I don't think I'm going to put it in the Etsy shop. I'm actually working on a different shop. I'm thinking about going with Go Imagine. And once I get that store open and stuff, I'll start linking that in these videos as well. But if you're interested in these wands, I am giving first dibs to my subscriber supporters. If you want to message me directly or to catch me on the Discord or something, and you want to go ahead and buy one of these before they go on sale to the public, just give me a holler and we'll work something out. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll be doing some more as soon as we can, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.